Aleksej Pokusevski has been one of the most unique yet most polarizing players to enter the NBA over the past couple of years. Standing 7 feet tall with a 7'3" wingspan, Poku has the ball handling skills and playmaking capabilities of a point guard, the shot making of a wing player, and the requisite physical tools and defensive instincts to play as a big man. And as an OKC Thunder fan myself, I've witnessed Pokusevski's development over the past 2 seasons, despite such development being non-linear. Then, entering his third NBA season this 2022 to 2023, Pokusevski was once again met by an increasing number of critics looking for more consistency with his on-court play, as last season alone, Poku averaged 7.5 points on ridiculously low shooting efficiency. Most notably, he recorded a 48.5 true shooting percentage, which was 7.5 points below the league average, making Poku easily one of the NBA's most inefficient offensive players last season. All in all, Pokusevski has long been viewed as the ultimate wildcard player on an OKC Thunder team that might as well throw young players like him on the court while they're accumulating losses. However, so far this season, there's something different about Pokusevski. After only starting 12 games last season, he's already started in 10 of the 14 games he's been available. And the thing is, as of the making of this video, the OKC Thunder also have a respectable 7-10 record, which even included 2 competitive losses against elite teams like the Celtics and the Bucks. The good thing is, at this point, we can say that Pokusevski has been a really crucial contributor for OKC so far, as after playing 14 games, he's averaging career highs of almost 10 points and 5.2 rebounds per game, and his 1.9 block average is also the third best in the entire NBA. Plus, he's also shooting a highly efficient 41.7% from 3, and most notably, his 58.2 true shooting percentage is more than 2 points above the league average. So what's good, guys? It's Real Balls here, and today, we'll dive deeper to understand what's actually fueling Aleksej Pokusevski's arrival for the OKC Thunder this season. But one sec, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, you can show your support for the channel by hitting that like button. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. First of all, it's definitely on the defensive end wherein Pokusevski's impact has mostly been felt for the OKC Thunder to start the year. Well, the thing is, last season, on defense, Coach Daignault deployed Poku on the perimeter a huge chunk of the time to become more of a disruptor. And to be fair, I think he did quite well with that role, as despite being 7 feet tall, Poku knew how to make use of his foot speed to stay with smaller players, while his 7'3" wingspan also helped him bother opponents and get deflections around passing lanes. However, given his NBA inexperience, Poku still displayed a tendency to commit a lot of shooting fouls, while also being prone to allowing much quicker players to blow by him in space. But one significant change that OKC has employed so far this season is the way the team has been using Poku. Looking at it, after he spent only 17 and 49% of his minutes playing the center position during his first 2 seasons, so far, Poku's been playing as OKC's 5-man a whopping 92% of the time he's been on the floor. And with the absence of a legitimate 7-foot rim protector like Chet Holmgren, this has resulted in Poku being used as OKC's de facto rim protector. And unlike before when he was asked to chase players around as a perimeter defender, you'd now mostly see Poku defending drop coverages as a weak side shot blocker, which is where he can easily take advantage of his length and natural timing without having to worry too much about being torched by smaller players. And so far, this much more simplified task on defense has produced great results, as Poku's current 1.9 blocks per game average and 7.1 shot blocking percentage both rank number 3 in the entire NBA. In this clip, watch how Poku defends in drop coverage. With Banchero attacking J-Dub, you can see Poku making sure that Mo Bamba doesn't receive a pass, but as Banchero sees daylight, watch Poku elevate for the well-timed block. Again here in drop coverage, as Jaylen Brown gets past Aaron Wiggins off the screen, watch how Poku meets him and stays with him, leading to another easy block. But aside from those blocks he's been producing as a drop big man, one thing I've also noticed about Poku this season is how he's really improved in terms of dealing with contact in the interior. Well, I still wouldn't say that he can bang bodies with full-grown centers for 48 minutes every game, but his ability to stay vertical and his ability to challenge shots with a lot of discipline so far this season I think has really been noticeable. Here, watch Poku guard Brook Lopez off the crucial inbound play. You could see Lopez trying to impose his size underneath, but watch Poku square up and stay vertical before using his length to ultimately force a bad play for Milwaukee. Again, in this drop coverage play, you could see Smart dishing out a lob pass to Horford, but watch Poku intercept it underneath the rim, then he stays vertical to force the missed shot. However, Poku gives up on the play and Horford scores off the putback. Well, Poku probably has to be better with his efforts after an initial block to prevent those kinds of second chance opportunities, but the progress he's showing in terms of holding his own against contact is definitely apparent, and most likely, as long as the opposing team isn't consistently using a center as their offensive hub, I think Poku should be able to hold his own as a lengthy and mobile drop defender for OKC. But speaking of length, Poku's length and overall feel as a defender has always been noticeable even when he was a rookie. He actually has plus foot speed and great recovery instincts on defense for a 7-footer, all of which enables him to fly around the court when defending in space and covering long distances. All of those things have always been on full display for Poku, but this season, I think he's just been much more purposeful in terms of exerting effort during defensive rotations. Just like here, Milwaukee pushes the ball in transition, and you can see Poku closing out on Grayson Allen on the weak side. Allen initially blows by him, but watch Poku recover while using his length and timing to get the block. Again, in this fast break play, you see Hardaway Jr. set up Dinwiddie to attack Tre Mann, but you can see Poku coming out of the weak side just waiting to block Dinwiddie right at the rim. But the exciting thing is, with another capable and mobile shot blocker like Chet Holmgren being back for OKC next season, you could just imagine how he and Poku could complement each other and have interchangeable roles as part of the team's front court when they're together on the floor. But moving on to the offensive side of the ball, I think one thing that's been noticeable about Poku so far is how he's been attempting more shots at the rim compared to the past 2 seasons. He's taking a career high 39.5% of his attempts right at the rim so far, and most notably, out of all 127 players to attempt at least 3 shots per game at the rim, Poku's 71.4% clip actually ranks in the 68th percentile of the entire NBA. But what's even crazier is that despite being that efficient, a huge 56% of his rim attempts have also been unassisted, meaning Poku's been working for his own shots near the basket while still fitting into OKC's offense. Well, I think a lot of this has got to do with his extended effort off the glass, as last season, he accumulated a total of 48 total points coming off putbacks, but so far, he's already had 18 putback points despite only having played 14 games. But aside from scoring off second chance opportunities, with Pokusevski's ball handling fluidity and shot making craft off the dribble, just like the past 2 seasons, he's actually continued to display the ability to get to the rim at his own will, all while manufacturing his own shot in a lot of creative ways, which to be fair is something we don't see from a lot of 7-footers out there. In this clip, after Poku receives the pass from J-Dub, he goes for the fake dribble handoff before attacking Jaylen Brown towards the lane, then watch the quick behind the back dribble which loses Brown before Poku goes for the pump fake, leaving his man unable to contest the shot right at the basket. Again here, Poku gets the ball from the top of the key, then watch him with a fake handoff with SGA before he takes advantage of the driving lane, getting to the rim with just one dribble as his size enables him to easily finish at the basket. Well, the scary thing is, moving forward, I think you can just expect Poku to have access to more of those open driving lanes, with opposing teams starting to close out harder on him from the perimeter, all because after being considered an inconsistent outside shooter who shot 28.5% from deep in his first 2 NBA seasons, Poku is now shooting a highly efficient 41.7% from 3 on more than 3 attempts per game. Plus, with SGA and Josh Giddey running the point a huge chunk of the time for OKC, Poku has been expected to be effective this season, particularly on catch-and-shoot threes. The good thing is, after just making 31% of his spot-up threes last season, is up to an outstanding 42.2% mark so far this year, even with a higher catch-and-shoot volume. Well, watching him, I don't think there's really been any major tweaks with his shooting stroke, but it seems like he's just more confident and less tentative when he's left open to shoot, whether it be off the corners or coming off pick and pops. But one thing I've actually noticed with his outside shot selection is that he's becoming more mature in a sense that he's not forcing attempts and that he's not hesitating to take a few extra dribbles if it means that he can get a better shot on the floor. Here, Poku operates as a ball screener for Tre Mann. You can see him pop out of the 3-point line, but as he sees Bullock going for the closeout, he chooses to attack the lane as he finishes the tough up and under right at the rim. Then here, in another pick and pop sequence with Isaiah Joe, after the kick out, watch Poku take advantage of the defender's momentum by blowing by him before settling for the open 16-foot mid-range jumper. Overall, I think it's Poku's two-way stability on the court that's been the driving force behind his solid start to the season. And sure, he's had a track record of being inconsistent over the past 2 years, but what actually makes me believe that all of this is for real is that unlike before, Poku's not being forced into the rotation as an experimental player anymore, and he's actually been a key player in OKC's wins. We don't know yet what his ceiling actually is, but at this point, I think it's safe to say that not a lot of 20-year-old players are able to become positive two-way contributors for a competitive young team the way Aleksej Pokusevski is able to do right now for the OKC Thunder. So what do you guys think is a realistic ceiling for Aleksej Pokusevski? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Rero Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.